Hello, and welcome back to the Practice Odyssey. Yay! Oh gosh, as you can tell, Jen and I are a little under the weather today, but doesn't matter. We are continuing our Odyssey and bringing y'all along with it.
Through rain and shine.
Through colds and slime, as they call it in Germany. Slime is like
perfectly descriptive.
Yeah, so you can listen to me, Alex, and Jen.
Hi.
We talk about all of these different things that we try to help improve our flute playing and report back to you if they work. And today is our first episode for season 2.
This is actually kind of pre-season 2. It's like a Christmas special.
It's our Christmas special.
Oh, this is probably the biggest Odyssey we have yet embarked upon. It's pretty epic. It's 12 weeks long.
Hefty.
It's 12 weeks long.
Hence why we're doing this over the Christmas break.
It's the only time we've got for this.
It's going to take us a little longer than our average 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Artist's Way. It's written by Julia Cameron, who's an award-winning poet and writer. She's got credits in theatre, television and film, as well as being an author and co-author of multiple books. She also teaches creative writing at colleges and universities, and she has been running these Artist Way creativity courses for several decades, and in fact has been dubbed the Queen of Creativity by no less than the New York Times. So her memoir, Floor Sample, which she wrote, details her descent into alcoholism and drug addiction, which induced blackouts, paranoia and psychosis, until 1978, when she reached a point in her life when writing and drinking could no longer coexist. So she stopped the drugs and the alcohol and began to try to teach herself a way to become creative without having to rely on those things, which led to her technique, which turned into the book, The Artist's Way. So this was developed from a collection of her experiences and her ideas, but also tips and hints from different artists and authors, which were then kind of melded into a single book and self-published originally by Julia, with the aim of maximizing creativity and productivity of artists. Its original name, when it came out, was Healing the Artist Within, but it was turned down by a publisher. So because she's a go-getter, she actually typed up the book herself and then photocopied it and sold it in a local bookstore. The word got out and it began to pick up sales, and it began to sell pretty widely. And then they changed the title to the original, The Artist's Way, as it's known now, and it was picked up by what's now the Penguin Group in 1992. Anyway, still become more and more popular, reached the top 10 bestseller list, and then it went on to the list of top 100 best-selling self-help books of all time, and it recently has eventually been put onto the Self-Publishing Hall of Fame after selling millions of copies worldwide. So there we go.
Hot darn.
Yeah, I know, it's a popular book. So in the book, Artist's Way, Cameron maintains that creative inspiration is from and of a divine origin and influence, and that artists seeking to enable creativity need to understand and believe in this concept of God or the creative force or flow. You can think of it in any term which you want, but it's like this creative force that we are kind of creativity comes from and we become influenced and tap into. So in the book, she says, God is an artist, so are we, and we can cooperate with each other. Our creative dreams and longings do come from a divine source, not from the human ego. So she's kind of taking it completely out of the person and into something which is a force outside of ourselves, which we don't have any control over, I guess. So the ideas in this book were felt to be very new at the time of publication, and they've become a phenomenon and spawned many meetups and support groups throughout the world. There's definitely, maybe there should be a Comic-Con of the Artist's Way or something. We'll have to look into that.
There should be.
So the group meetings are based on a 12-week creativity course designed for people to work through and gain artistic inspiration, which is outlined in the book in quite a nice manner, actually. The program is focused on supporting relationships, in removing artistic blocks and fostering confidence. So that is the book.
So, just like with all of our other podcasts, we have our kind of like our program, which normally we do for 2 weeks, but now Jen and I are going to be doing for 12, despite colds and cold weather
and warm
and
weather.
So, the two big aspects, or the two big parts of the book that you have to do consistently throughout the 12 weeks are called the morning pages and artist date. So with the morning pages, for those who haven't heard of it, it's the idea or what the concept of every morning before you focus on anything else, sitting down and writing 3 pages free flow into a journal. So that means that you're not writing for any purpose. You just have you write. You let your mind wander. Where your mind wanders is what you write down. And so you're not supposed to critique it. It's not supposed to really have any form. It's just like all the errant thoughts that go in your head. She wants you to do it every morning. However, I think she does recognize that some people might not get to it, because at the end of every week, she always asks, how many days did you do the morning pages? We hope you did all, but tell us how many you actually got to. And so that's that aspect of it. Second part of it is the artist date once a week. So once a week, you have to decide what your inner artist or your inner child or your inner innate sense of creativity needs or wants to do. And so this can be anything you want. It can be going to a museum. It can be buying a bunch of glitter and just chucking glitter on a board. If that's what your inner artist needs, it can be trying something different. The world is your oyster. There are so many options. And usually for about the span of 2 hours, and you cannot take anybody else along for the ride. Like, this is something you do with just yourself. So the other half of the 12-week program is different questions you have to ask yourself every week, and this changes from week to week. And sometimes they relate back to one another from what we've seen in our first initial 2 weeks, and sometimes it's just sometimes it's like in week 1 where you just take yourself on a walk for 20 minutes and you're just alone with your thoughts. So just like little tasks and things to try and help you establish your creativity. Because in the first 2 weeks, the point is recovering a sense of safety. So like we're helping our inner creativity and child feel safe, like you can do things again. And then week 2, we're recovering a sense of identity. So really helping identify the artist within ourselves. So that's what Jen and I have done for the past 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then we will talk to y'all also at the end when we've finished the rest of the 12-week program.
12 weeks,
and So Jen, would you like to tell me about your first 2 weeks of morning pages and the artist dates?
Yeah.
What you got up to, how you feel about them?
Yeah. Probably this definitely taps back into a long and complicated history with journals.
Ooh.
In that there are none. I liked I always liked the idea of writing journals. I started journals on and off throughout my whole life, but I've never actually continued them for more than maybe 3 days.
Because you're too busy living life.
Well, it's more like I just structure's never been my strong point. So then I saw the pages and I was like, bum, 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 this is going to be bad. And it was bad. The first week, I think I did it once. Second week, I know. The weird thing is, like, I quite enjoyed it, but it was just the fact of waking up and not getting distracted by the 15 million things I needed to do. And I know she suggests waking up half an hour earlier, but that ain't an option.
Okay, so your morning pages week 1 weren't very good. So
no, it's terrible.
It was difficult. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Week 2 was upward trajectory. I did it 4 mornings in a row, primarily because I was on holiday. And I didn't have anything else to do. So I kind of got into this neat rhythm where, like, I'd wake up and I'm like, oh, yeah, cool, I'm on holiday. And then, you go down to the breakfast area because breakfast is included. It's next to this pool. Because it's Cambodia, it's lovely every morning. It's beautiful, balmy, 25 degrees. Very nice. So I sat there with my cup of tea and my cup of coffee because I ordered all the beverages. It was unlimited.
Oh my gosh.
And I sat next to the pool and I wrote my 3 pages and it was lovely. I really enjoyed it. It was very nice. So that's my morning pages. How do you find morning pages, Alex? Being also a non-morning person.
Yes. Oh gosh. Yes. So, although I'm not a morning person, throughout my life, I've kept a journal pretty consistently on and off. Surprisingly, I have journals that date back, I think, all the way to 2nd grade. So. Because I had a teacher back then. Well, I had a teacher in 4th grade, and I think my mom made me do it before that. But the teacher in 4th grade, Mrs. Haskell, she had us write in a journal, I think, like once a week, and we'd have to hand it in. And if we didn't want her to read what we had written, we would bend a page, and then she would not read it. Although looking back, I know she probably definitely read them, but gave us our privacy of that.
Illusion of privacy.
The illusion of privacy. Or
Much
maybe
like the
she
internet
didn't.
now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh gosh. When I look back and read my journals, I think this was just a way for me as like a little kid, and also being the oldest and not being allowed to say how we feel because it's rude, A lot of it was whining and complaining. And so I always try to preface, like, if I've told my mom many times, if ever it comes a time where you are reading my journals, please do not take them personally, because it'll seem like I just had a horrible childhood. Just the only times that I ever deemed like it was important to write, I was usually really upset. So, and then actually when I met my now husband, I lost the need to write. Like, I never felt like I had to write. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because I just talked to Marco all the time, and
he's
things
like your
that bug
journal.
Me. He is my journal. Yeah, he's my physical journal. So he gets to hear all the stories. Or maybe it was around the same time that I met you, so maybe that's something to do with it. I don't know. So, but no longer felt the need to like complain to paper anymore. So getting back into this book, to the idea of journaling was quite like tricky. I've tried a few times in the past to get back into it, or try this artist way, and I've only ever made it like 1 day or 2 days, and then like gone from there. But I'm happy to say I think I did 7 days the first week here. However, I have to say I'm not a morning person.
No.
And so it was very much like I've turned on the light in the bedroom as dim as it can go. I'm just writing in bed because I don't want to get out of the warm coziness because I have to leave soon and it's going to be freezing here in Germany. Yeah, I did 7 days week 1. Week 2, I did 4 days. I did not, and some of those days were not 3 pages. But yeah, it has been really interesting because like sometimes I do feel like writing and I will find a good like train of thought and roll with it for a bit. But sometimes I just feel like it's me complaining again. But that's like the point of it, It's like, it's just over the silliest little things, But it's like, okay, I can do this. And maybe.
Yeah, this concept of needing to vent.
So that's kind of my, and I also went full out with this project. I decided on Amazon when I went to go buy the book, because I have it on my Kindle equivalent, the Nook. I have it on my Nook, but I like when we do these projects sometimes to like have a tangible book that I can like write in. Yeah. So I bought the official 25th anniversary edition of The Artist's Way, and then they also offer a morning pages journal where you can like write in it. However, it turns out the pages are so glossy with my left-handed writing, it just smears everything, which I was quite sad about. I know. Anyways, so that was my journaling experience so far. I don't know if I have any gems of knowledge in here, really. No. I know one day, week 1, day 6, it was very much like the to-dos day, the today to-dos, today to-dos. And then I was like, gots to write up some structures for tomorrow's podcast. Gots to code. Gots to tidy. Gots to work out. I was feeling very gots to that day. Yeah. How were your artist dates? Jen, what did you do for your 2 artist dates?
Again, this was something I was not looking forward to. That's very uncomfortable.
What? Like an excuse to do whatever you want?
Well, it's the alone part I have a problem with.
Yeah.
I feel very awkward sitting at cafes by myself. I'm just one of these people, like, if Tom's away, I will literally get hamburgers delivered to my house instead of going to the place around the corner because I don't want to sit by myself and eat. I've never really been an alone doing things kind of person. The only thing I might do alone is go for a walk and cycle my bike. But then I'm going somewhere to do something. I'm not really like an activity person where I do it myself kind of thing. Activities in my mind are connected with doing it with someone, like spending quality time and an experience with someone. That's what my activity brain is kind of wired into. And because that's something like I really enjoy spending time with people and doing stuff with people. So that's kind of like a fun thing in itself. So it's very hard for me to disassociate going and doing something just with me. And for 2 hours, that's a really long time. So
it is a long time.
Yes. So I didn't quite I've never really met their 2 hour mark. To be honest, like I've kind of got like a 1 hour limit, and then I'm just like, yeah, I had enough of this. And so the first time I went to a cafe, and it was nice, and I drank my coffee with myself. I confess, like I brought some stuff I had to do, but I kind of wanted to do it. It's kind of fun, but it also is kind of work related, so I'm not sure how that flies. Okay. But it was kind of, yeah. But being Phnom Penh, it's a small place. Like there's so many coffee shops where they serve like great coffee. So inevitably half of my acquaintances walked in at the same time. So I like the alone part finished quite quickly, and like of course I was like, woohoo! I'm not by myself anymore. So that was so that was my first date, and then the second date, I didn't have a second date. That's why there was no second date.
Oh, no.
Unless it was like counted writing my pages by myself with me and my coffee down by the pool in the morning. That was very nice. I enjoyed that. So that was kind of my date. Or like, because I was on holiday and Tom was there all the time. He was there all the time. Maybe like a few times, like I sat out on the balcony and I kind of just watched YouTube videos. I don't know if that counts. Maybe that does count. Even though I didn't go somewhere, I was by myself, even though Tom was in the other room. That was probably as close as I got to a date.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, it's kind of hard in Phnom Penh. Like I'd have to say my ideal date would kind of be to go for a walk. But there's not really anywhere to go for a walk here. So the dates, the dates are another thing. But, I think, I'm sure I can only get better at hanging out with myself.
Like, so for my dates, like the first week I went and got a library card here in Ravensburg because it's something that I used to like going to the libraries in the other countries that I've lived in, but I hadn't actually been to, or I've been in some here in Germany, but never gotten a library card. And since we're probably going to stay here for the foreseeable future, figured, okay, let's get a library card, which was quite fun. And I used to really like sitting in libraries as a kid and reading books. But like I was interacting with people. So, and then like for my second week, I recently got a subscription for like a Zumba course, but I decided to try like a different type of class. So like I was surrounded by people the whole time, even though I didn't really talk to anybody, but like I really felt like it's like a chance for me to also like get out and like be a little active. So yeah, so my second date was actually like this like Zumba Strong thing. So I went and tried out Zumba Strong, which was interesting. So but yeah, so those were my two artist dates. I mean the alone thing, because like I've definitely eaten at restaurants and cafes before alone, and like I see movies alone all the time because like if someone's with me, I want to talk to them. And sometimes people don't like talking in movies, especially if you're seeing them in a theater. So yeah, I've done like stuff on my own before and it's been okay. So I guess that wasn't as tricky for me as like writing all 3 pages into the journal, which I sometimes was like, oh, I've written 2, is that enough? So like I want to go do stuff now. My first 2 artist dates, yeah, I mean, it's hard because like normally I might like going out and like going to the beach or something, but it's winter here. Yeah. Okay, so the tasks are a list of tasks or questions or things that we have to answer or do or activities, like we said earlier. So for week 1, they're all very much focused around recovering a sense of safety within ourselves. Mm-hmm. Jen, what was your favorite from?
Like, a lot of these made me very uncomfortable. Like the enemies of the 3 enemies of self-worth, and like having to actually write out one of your horror stories. You just get to live through the cringeness of it all. It was not my funnest time ever. But then you like wrote a defense of it, and so that was kind of healing. Yeah. But I have to say, I enjoyed Imaginary Lives. That was really fun.
Yes, I want to know what your imaginary lives were.
Okay.
Please spill the beans.
I had so one was a park ranger.
Oh, I could totally see you as a park ranger. You would be an amazing park ranger.
I remember seeing them when I was like a kid and just thinking how awesome that your life is roaming around beautiful places and telling people to walk on the path. Like, that was just the image I had in my mind.
Walk the path.
Walk on the path. Stop taking shortcuts, you fool. You'll erode the world. It was like, yeah. I also liked Lighthouse Keeper. I don't know why, because I really like people.
Your jobs are amazing. Yeah, I know.
I would just be like,
Lighthouse Keeper.
It's like so zen. And then like after 3 days, too much zen.
I know.
Too much. While we were on holiday, there's this amazing Cambodian circus in Siem Reap, which is where we went. And I was like, oh, the circus is awesome. I'd really like to be a circus performer. So those are my imaginary lives. What were yours?
Oh yeah, mine were, hang on. So here in where I live, we're really close to a Zeppelin place where they launch from. Like, we have Zeppelins that float around the skies.
Hold on, you're doing like the World War II Zeppelin things?
Mm-hmm. No. Oh yeah, they're still here. So after that, I decided I wanted to be a Zeppelin pilot.
That's
just
excellent.
Like drive around and like fly around the lake in my huge Zeppelin. That would be so cool.
So cool.
I also thought I would make a really good librarian. I would like to try that because I do like putting books and like organizing them and giving recommendations to people and helping people find things. So then I also thought it would be kind of cool to be an astronaut. Just kind of cool.
Yeah, this stems from your childhood, Alex.
Yes, exactly. I always wanted to be an astronaut as a kid, but as they informed me in the 2nd grade, since I had glasses, I could never be an astronaut. And so
what's with that? The party poopers? I got told I couldn't be a fighter pilot because of that. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, we would have been great. And you never know how technology.
Top Gun. What is it? Goose?
Heck yeah.
Goose and Maverick.
The other one. Maverick. Wait, doesn't one of them die?
Yeah. Does it goose? I don't know.
I don't know. And my last one was life coach. I was kind of running out here because like I do love helping people like get stuff organized and like figure out like the big picture stuff. But that was I think my favorite activity that we had to do from like week 1.
Awesome.
Yeah, I also had a hard time about like the letter we had to write to our monster and like thinking of like our monster. What was the thing? Like time traveling to our enemies. Like, I mean, there's like, luckily there's one instance I remember when I was like, I think it was in 2nd or 3rd grade, and this mother, she asked me something, and I don't remember what she asked me, but I started talking, and I remember her telling me, oh, it's so nice of you to brag about your mom before you start bragging about yourself. And I was just like really taken aback as a kid. And, like, I was like, was I bragging about myself? I can't believe I was doing that. Like, how rude of me. And I was, like, really upset, and I couldn't believe I had done this. And so I wrote a letter to this mom, and I was like, that was not cool. I was in 4th grade. You could have, if you wanted to teach me something, this was not the way to teach it. And I signed it with "You're a jerk." So that kind of felt nice. But yeah, like, that sort of still sticks with me.
No, that does.
Nice. So yeah, that was kind of interesting doing all of that with week 1 and like helping myself recover.
Well, on that note, shall we go into our impression? Well, instead of verdict, we're doing our impression so far.
Yeah, impressions after the first 2 weeks. Jen, it sounds like you might have a really strong impression. I've just been getting a feel over the whole podcast.
Oh,
but
really?
I don't know.
Oh.
What was your impression?
Can you tell me what it is?
Okay, I'm thinking that a first impression is not that strong for the process. I feel like it's making you spend a lot of time alone, and it's not something that maybe you like to do because you have to do it a lot already as a flutist. And I'm sensing maybe it's not something that maybe you're quite enjoying. But I don't know. Am I wrong?
I think you definitely hit a thread of theme there.
Okay.
Thematic material. Yes. I mean, it's like the Smiling Minds. I feel like I just like, oh man, I don't have the time for this. I don't have the time for this. I'm too busy. But when I do it, I really enjoy it. And I find it really helpful.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I keep resisting not having the time for it, yet I really enjoy it when I do it. I like the idea of becoming good at hanging out with myself. I do really like that concept.
Yeah.
I think it's good. It's like a good creative spring clean.
Oh,
and that's my first impression.
Yeah.
Does that mean I have to guess yours?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to, but you can if you want.
No, I'm going to try. Challenge accepted. I'm going to guess that overall, what's your rating system again? I'm going to say that you are doing like a thumb and 7/8.
Oh my gosh, that is so my rating system. I didn't know I had one, and then you said it.
Yeah, you're a thumb and 7/8 up because I think you really like all of it, and you find the tasks relevant and useful. However, again, you find the morning pages tricky.
Oh, yes. I think you hit the nail on the head.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like,
By the way, I think we should universally adopt your rating system, by the way. It's a thing now. From now on, season 2 will be the year of
It gets half a thumb. It gets one thumb and 2/3. Thumb. Nope, I think you basically said it. Like, I really, like, the questions are very insightful. And they're really interesting. I'm like, oh, okay, let me work on these. And a lot of the stuff that they recommend, I kind of already do it. So I think it's just a little not as tricky for me, like going on the artist dates by yourself and like doing stuff by yourself. Like, I think part of it, which I'm sure you've done it as well, like traveling to new countries or like going and doing things on your own, like when you move to Sweden and stuff, like you kind of like get comfortable a little bit, like, or at least for me, like, okay, well, I'm just going to be by myself. But I'm also definitely very extroverted in the fact that when I am alone by myself too much, then I do get really depressed and I lose focus. When I'm with people, then like I get more stuff done, I'm more productive, and like I get more energy. I'm feeling energized. So like after we talk today, I'll probably get a whole bunch of stuff done. But yeah, those morning pages, it was tough this week.
Those morning pages.
Okay, we'll wrap this up. So that's our show for today. Thanks to Ivan Potter again for our fabulous show art. Go check it out and just look at the magnificence that is that. And today's episode was edited by the Gem Bird herself. Our theme music was put together by yours truly, Alex. And our episode is produced with Buzzsprout. Go get your podcast published with Buzzsprout today. Buzzsprout.com. Send us your thoughts and questions to our email at thepracticeodyssey@gmail.com. Link in the description box. And if you like this episode, you can subscribe to hear our bi-weekly podcast, normally when our seasons are going, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Alexa, and iHeartRadio. And I think that's it. Thanks for listening in, and we'll talk to you all next time. Have a great new year. Take care.
Yeah, see you next year, people.
Okay, bye.